Rare good news from the GOP as a group of 51 Republicans in Congress introduced a bill this week called the CBDC Anti-Surveillance State Act. The act would ban a CBDC in all of its grotesque forms, direct, indirect, through a bank, or through a contractor like Ripple. The bill probably won't pass, given Democrat control of the Senate. Alas, modern Democrats have never met a surveillance state they didn't like. Still, it is a very important bill to ensure that the bipartisan uniparty does not gang up on the people once again, at least on this issue. In this case, to impose the most totalitarian government tool since the Patriot Act. The bill itself was introduced by Representative Tom Emmer of Minnesota, who is the number 3 Republican in the House. That's important because it means it's coming from leadership. Many of the co-signers, as you'd expect, are members of the Freedom Caucus, which has consistently been on the side of the people. I mentioned this issue in a video a couple months ago, but there was a very real risk that Republicans in Congress would get tricked into supporting what amounts to a contractor-built CBDC, one that goes through banks or some contractor like Ripple, using those lobbying dollars to impose a China-style surveillance control police state on the American people. Heritage has actually been instrumental in helping members of Congress to understand the risk and to appreciate their constituents' passionate opposition before they do something stupid. If you are not familiar with the CBDC, it's built on the same technology as Bitcoin, but perverts it to replace the dollar with a government crypto token that would concentrate every last penny under their surveillance and their control. So it is push-button totalitarianism. If you want to exercise the Second Amendment, if you want to donate to a Canadian trucker, buy a gas stove, or an alternative medicine, did you eat more beef than your monthly carbon allotment? Good luck. While I am pleased to see the Uniparty on a leash, we are not out of the woods by a mile. Because despite near universal public opposition to CBDCs, they regularly poll about 80 to 90% opposition around the world, and yet central banks are building them at breakneck speed, including the Federal Reserve, with 130 countries currently exploring CBDCs and several already running them, starting with China and continuing with Nigeria, where they've led to ongoing nationwide riots. The people hate them, but the state loves them because surveillance and control are their mother's milk. It is how they control the voters who they allegedly serve. In the U.S., the Fed has been doing the dirty work with its CBDC pilots, and they need a leash. So what is next? First, from our sponsor, this video is brought to you by Unchained, which is working on ways to keep your Bitcoin secure and minimize the taxes you owe on it through retirement vehicles and loans. So what's needed next is an outright ban on CBDC pilots. That is the camel's nose under the tent. I don't want the government even exploring CBDCs for the same reason I do not want them exploring internment camps for political dissidents. But a ban will not happen until voters demand it happen, which is why I make these videos, and it is very nice to see progress in that direction. Okay, we'll be watching. See you next time.